What kind of crazy person makes his own glue? I'm Andrew Seltz with DIY Bookbinding, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made a super simple rice paste glue for a bookbinding project, and you can decide if I'm crazy. I never actually thought about making my own glue until a reader on the DIY Bookbinding website asked a question about it. I did a little research and I learned about hide glues and casein glues and flour pastes that have long been a traditional part of bookbinding. And the option, though, that caught my attention was rice starch glue, sometimes called Sokui. Rice starch glue has been used since ancient times for a variety of arts and crafts like woodworking and woodblock printing. Rice glue is notable for being acid-free and also workable when remoistened. It's not waterproof. Now, you don't need anything more than just a bit of rice, some water, and a few common kitchen tools to make your own rice glue. Here is how I made it. First, you start off with some very sticky rice. Sushi rice is the perfect option for this, and so that's what I used for my rice paste glue. So I put 1/4 cup of rice into a pot. Next, I added 3/4 cup of water. Then I turn the stove on high and let that come to a boil. Turn it down to low, cover with a lid, and then let that steep for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I open the pot, and then you can see that the rice is fully cooked. It's starting to get really sticky. If you give it a little bit of a stir, you can see it's already starting to become a bit of a paste. So I grabbed a fork and just started mashing it into a smooth paste, as smooth as I could get it. So I added some additional water to thin it out, and then I continued to break it down with the fork and got it as smooth as I could. Then I put it back over the heat for a little while, and that helped to cook it down and break it down even further. So this was the consistency that I cooked it to, and then I let it cool down. And once it was cooled down, you can see it thickened up just a little bit. And then I spooned it into a metal sieve. And then I worked it through the mesh with the end of the wooden spoon until I got out as many remaining lumps as I could. And this is the finished texture of my rice paste glue. I just took that, spooned it into a jar, and then kept it in the refrigerator until it was time to do my bookbinding projects. You can shortcut the process just a little bit if you have a small mixer like this NutriBullet mixer that I have. You can put the rice and the water together and then grind it up before you put it into the pan. This results in sort of a rice milk mixture, which will then cook down faster and save you the steps of grinding it all up with a fork at the end like I did in my first batch. The one thing you'll want to do differently is you'll want to leave it cooking with the lid off so that you can continue to stir it and then take it off the heat when it starts to thicken up, because this will thicken up a little bit faster, and if you let it go too long, you'll basically have to go through all that mashing and grinding experience again to break it back up again. But as you can see from this batch here, it turns out just as good as making it the other way and saves you a step. So if you can save some time, save some time. Now, you can also shortcut the process by letting someone else do the hard work, the grinding. Just start with a pre-packaged rice starch or some rice flour. One package is going to make an awful lot of glue though, so try and stick with the smallest package that you can find. Now, rice glue is going to keep for just about a week if you store it in the refrigerator. You can add a touch of boric acid or clove oil or some salt to try and preserve it just a little bit longer, but my recommendation is that you make just enough for the project at hand and keep your batches small. Also, don't try to freeze it because you're just going to end up with a completely unusable mess. Now, I find that rice glue is a good option for gluing cover wraps onto book boards and also for gluing hardcover cases onto the end papers of a book block. But the water content is fairly high, so you're going to want to avoid thinner papers because they'll buckle. I also don't recommend it for perfect bound books because it's not waterproof, but I'm planning to test it against a PVA glue for a perfect bound book in the future, so watch for that video. Maybe I am a little crazy. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it with a friend, and subscribe to our channel. You can also become a Patreon sponsor and support the creation of future DIY bookbinding videos. Thank you for watching. I'm Andrew Seltz.